Greetings RC friends, welcome to Props and Wheels. In this episode of the video series showcasing the RadioMaster TX16S transmitter, I'm going to demonstrate how to set up and bind this airplane, which is an XK A160-J3 Skylark. It is a mini J3 Cub from XK, and if you ever bought anything from XK, you know that they come with this transmitter, the XK transmitter. Although it is nice for certain purposes, it doesn't have a very good sensitivity with these gimbals. So I was finding out with multiple XK models using this transmitter that the center point has a dead spot. So if you are going right and left, or rather, for example, it doesn't move until you go past the threshold. The same here. So there are some dead zones. And the OpenTX multi-module protocol on this TX16S can actually bind to these airplanes. So I just want to demonstrate how to do that. First, I'm going to start by setting up a model, and then I'm going to do the binding, and then I'm going to do setting it up, such as reversing any of the controls that are not moving in the right direction, as well as set up the rates, which is on this one controlled by this button, as well as the 6G 3D change, which is puts on the stabilization and takes it off partially. And if you have other XK airplanes with this kind of transmitter as well as the same stabilization system, you can basically use this video to do the same with those airplanes. It shouldn't be different. Alright, let's get started. Let's move this away. And the first thing to do here is turning on the transmitter. A long press on the power button for a couple seconds. And it will greet you. Now, once you're on the main screen, the first thing to do is a long press on this menu wheel. It will come here, model select, one click, it will come to this, the models list, and another long press, and then another click to this create model. Now, ours is a plane, so I'm going to go to plane, click. Yes, my model has a motor. So I'm going to not change it and page down button, which is this second one of these four from the top. Number of ailerons on your model, 2 ailerons, but they are connected to the same channel via Y cable. So click on the wheel and then move to 1 or 2 with Y cable. Select that and page down button again. And my model does not have any flaps, so page down. The tail configuration is correct. The elevator is on channel 2, which is A, and the rudder is channel 4, which is shown as B. Page down. And I not need to change anything, so one click and move to yes, all is well, create the plane. So the model has been successfully created. To go back to return, this is the return button here. And as you see, model 51 is selected. So let's return again, come to the main screen. Now we are going to start setting up the model. A long press on this MDL or model button will bring you to this page. So let's first start by changing the model name. So one click. And I'm just going to fast forward here. So I set up the model name as XK A160-J3. Now we need to select the protocol and do the binding. And to get to that point, it's all the way down to the bottom. A trick is to go left with the manual, one click, and it will jump to the bottom of the page, and then keep going up until we are here at the internal RF mode. It's off. One click and change it to multi-protocol mode. Click again. Now we are going to select the protocol, which is going to be KN. And KN is selected. And the sub protocol is WLTOI, so we'll leave it as is. And then we are going to come down, and here we have receiver number. And I'm going to set this receiver number to 21, that I know that it's empty right now. And we are ready to bind. I'm just going to hover over bind, so it's selected, but I haven't started the bind process yet because we need to get the plane to the bind mode first. And to do that, what we need to do is just connect the battery and wait until we hear a beep. And you heard the beep, so now it's ready to bind. So it says binding. And it did a long beep, and now it is bound. As you can see, I can move the controls. So now what I'm going to do is just come out of here. Return again. Now we are on the home screen. So let's double check if everything is working correctly. So right aileron goes down. So this needs to be reversed. Up elevator, and it's working correctly. Right rudder, no, it is turning left, as you see. And left rudder, it's turning right. So both aileron and rudder needs to be reversed. And I'm just going to quickly check carefully. And the motor is working as well. So to reverse the aileron and the rudder, again we go to the MDL button, long press, and then with page down we are going to move down the list until we get to the outputs. And channel 1 is the aileron. If you are not sure, just move the aileron stick and you will see that little arrow moving right and left. So we are on the right channel. So one click and you come to this arrow, it says direction. One click, it is changed. Let's test that. Right, left. It's moving correctly. So let's return, and we are going to go down to channel 4, which is the rudder. So just to make sure we are changing the correct channel, let's move the rudder. You can see this little arrow moving right left. One click, come down again, one click at the direction. Now it should be correct. Right rudder, left rudder. Everything's working correctly. Now the next thing to do is, let's come out of here. Return, return, return. The next thing to do is programming the two other channels that are needed for, one is for the rates, it's this button on this toy controller, and the other one is the switch between the 3D and 6G modes. 6G stands for 6 gyros, it's the stabilization mode. And how are we going to program that? Long press on the MDL, and then we move using the page down button to over here, mixes. And on the mixes, we are going to go down to channel 5. And in this case, channel 5 controls the rates that's built in to the receiver or the stabilization system. And then one press, and we are going to come down to source and click, and then select whatever switch that you would like to use. In this case, I'm going to use this SF, switch F. Let me show you here. So I'm going to move this and see what happens when I move it. That source became SF now. Okay, that's good. Let's select that, good, and return. Now stabilization, the 6G3D is on channel 8. I'm going to come down to channel 8. And then one click, you're under channel 8. And if you want, you can change the mix name as well. Just call it 3D 6G. I'm going to do that later. Going to come down to source. And in this case, again, select source. It's blinking. And then I'm going to set this SG, switch G to that. And look what happens when I do that. Now it is selected. One click to confirm. Return. One more time. And we are on the home screen. Now let's see if it is working. I'm going to try to show everything together. So, just showing you that the controls are working correctly. Everything is good. And now, I'm going to pull this SF, switch F, towards me, and I found out that it only controls the throws for the aileron, not the other one. So I'm going to set it like this. As you can see, the ailerons move slightly because there is not much difference. So this is 100% and this is 80%. You can see it moving slightly, that left aileron. And you are not bound to this. Actually, you don't even have to use this channel 5. If you have a RadioMaster TX16S, you can set up any rates, even triple rates. And I have a video on how to do that, and I'll put the link below in the description. So you can do that, and you can put any rates you want. You can put like 50%, 75%, 100%, the way you want, and you can assign one of these triple switches to that. And now let's look at the 6G3D. So right now, as you see, it is in the 6G mode. The way I tell that is the ailerons are linked to the rudder in that stabilization mode. They are in order to make coordinated turns. And now if I pull this switch, this SG switch, to the middle, this is away from me, to the middle, it is still in that 6G mode, but one more time all the way front. Now the throws are much more, as you can see on the ailerons, and the rudder has been decoupled from the aileron move. If I push this switch one or two back, middle or last position, the ailerons don't move as much. The throws have been decreased, as you can see. And the rudder is coupled to the aileron movements. Pull it again. Now it is in the 3D mode. So you have much more throws. So that's it. I hope this video was useful for you to set up any of the XK models with this kind of controller. And if you liked the video, please give us a thumbs up. Stay tuned for other videos coming up on the TX16S, and as well as a lot of flight videos. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe and healthy. See you on the next video. Bye bye.